Hi, welcome to our show, the second in a series of 4 on chronic body symptoms, their meaning, and their potential relief. I'm Dr. Amy Mindell, and I'm here with my husband, Arny Mindell. Hi, Arny.
Hi.
Arny is the founder of Process-Oriented Psychology, and Arny and I are now working at the Process Work Center in Portland. Our last show, we focused on HIV and AIDS-related problems, and tonight we're going to focus on another work which we did in the studio with a woman who is suffering from asthma. It's a very interesting work. I think you'll like it. And in the last half hour of the hour, you can call in with your questions about that work or about your own body symptoms. So welcome to the show on chronic symptoms. And Arny, what would you like to say?
Well, first thing I'd like to say is how you're feeling.
I'm a little bit nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of nervousness?
I feel like jittery, like this.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do in this next hour. We're going to be working on experiences that you have, I have, and we're going to be showing also experiences that people that we work with chronic body symptoms. Now, what I'd really like to show, though, Amy, is I want to show the viewers a special method that we began last week at this time of working with chronic body symptoms, which tries to find out their meaning and which gives them relief, gives people relief from them. And as you know from last time, the reason that symptoms go on is partially because medical science today may not be able to solve all the problems that we have, because we may not be dealing with our problems medically properly, and also because the difficulties that we have may not be just simply medical but psychological, or the on the border between psychology and medicine. So if these messages from the body are discovered, and that's going to be the work next hour, once these inner experiences come up and we're able to process them and use them, we get their message, people feel relieved, they feel a little bit better, and above all, life is richer. So remember last week, as you may remember, did you mention that we worked last week with an AIDS patient on the psychology of immunity? Today we're going to be working with breathing difficulties and with asthma. And so we're going to be showing again, first a tape that we've done in the studio a couple of weeks ago, and we'll be talking to you, the viewers, on our TV about that. And now, as we begin to look at the first person that we work with, we'll look at it and then we're going to discuss it together with you. So you, as the viewer, should take a good look at the television, at your television, and what do you notice about the person that we're going to be working with. So let's take a look at the TV and see what happens now. Yeah.
Diane, given the chance, what would you do and what would you get done if we could do anything?
Well, I would really like to work on the asthma. I have asthma and have had it for 6 years. And I'm actually improving it. But I need to work on it so that when I have public kind of speaking requirements, that I can do them without having to deal with asthma at the same time. And it always comes up at that time.
Right.
Always when you try to speak?
Well, especially if I'm speaking under pressure and there are, if say there's an attack going on, and I'm being attacked from, say, 4 or 5 sides, and then I have to think fast.
I get asthma.
Then I have a tightening up that happens, and so I'm learning to breathe and relax, keep my feet firmly planted, and talk.
Wow.
Wow.
What kind of speaking things are you in that you get attacked from 4 or 5 different places simultaneously?
Well, currently I'm doing affirmative action work in a university.
Right.
And so I'm not satisfactory to anybody. And so I'm trying to deal with issues of race, of sexual orientation, those two kind of mainly, women's issues, sexual harassment, stuff like that.
I'm glad you're doing it, and so maybe we can connect the different experiences that are happening.
Yes. Good for her. I like her, and the readers and the viewers should realize when they look in at us that what you're seeing is Amy and me. Here we are, Amy and I, we're sitting on a lower stools. We're trying to reproduce a sort of seminar atmosphere in which we're working with people. And so Diana's sitting in a chair, and there must be about 8 or 10 other people sitting around. So now what has Diane said about herself? The first thing she said, she's had asthma for 6 years. What else did she say? If you listen really closely, she said she's already trying to help herself. She's working on her asthma. She's trying to find out its meaning, apparently. She's done physical things, and she's trying to understand herself. And a very important thing she says is that she's a public speaker for affirmative action. That means she deals with, she said, issues around race, around sexual orientation, in other words, prejudices towards women, prejudices towards men, prejudice towards different races. And she's dealing with unpopular things, and well, unpopular in the public eye. That means that some of these things that she's dealing with are unpopular among some of us, and others of us support her entirely. I'm rather one of her supporters, totally.
And she mentions then that she has the experience that when she begins to speak, that she feels suddenly this tightness, and when she's under this great amount of pressure with everybody yelling at her, upset with her. I can imagine what that's like, being under this pressure of these lights here too.
Right. But so you're nervous tonight, I'm nervous tonight, or we feel certain something by looking into this black lens. We just look right out into the television public and wonder who's really there. But after we leave the show, these experiences relax. But she has an asthmatic reaction or an allergic reaction to tough situations. So it's important for her to, what can I say? It's important for her not only to live with that asthma during the time that she is under stress like we are, but also wants to learn how to use that. How can she use that asthma? Can she use it? Must she just suffer it? So as you know, from last week in process work, we work with people by trying to find out how do they experience their bodies. The experience of the symptoms is the crucial thing. We listen exactly to what people do, and we watch their hands. So therefore, somebody will say, she uses her hands like she says, I have this experience inside of my chest. So it's going to be this experience that we're going to be working with. And I hope the readers, because I write so many books, I should talk about television, the viewers will understand that we're working actually with a particular hypothesis. We're working with a dream body hypothesis, and that is that what's happening in your body is dreamlike. That means it's unconscious and trying to become conscious, and the more we integrate that stuff, the better we feel. So, yeah.
Great. So maybe we can look at the next section of tape and see how her work progresses further.
Super. Let's take a look at that and we'll discuss it. Let's look at the TV.
Is that asthma around in the moment? Is it there?
Yes,
Yeah.
I feel it. It's there's tightness. I have tightness in my chest, and in my back, and so it's hard to relax.
Yeah. So maybe we can go with that asthma and see more about what's inside. And you say you find it difficult to relax. How about for a moment not relaxing, but we'll relax afterwards perhaps, but for the moment tightening up. You want to try that?
Okay.
Yeah, let's try it. You say in your back you feel some tightening?
Yes, and especially when I stop breathing. If I tense so that I forget to breathe.
Yeah. So so don't breathe for a moment and go ahead and use your and use your hands and tighten up your back. Yeah, great.
Wow, yeah. That's it.
Strong.
Uh-huh. And, yeah. Uh-huh.
Then I get shortness of breath.
Right.
Feelings of shortness of breath, and but usually I don't have to try to do it.
Right.
It happens.
Yeah.
I have to try not to let that happen.
Could you mirror her, do you think?
I can try. I don't have a chair.
Uh-huh. Great. Uh-huh. You're looking at her. Did you think something just now?
Well, I'm thinking of a particular situation. It often happens, even if I'm on the telephone. I'm thinking of a telephone situation.
Telephone.
But in the telephone situation, I was finding myself very short of breath. But it was even more. Not this sort of stabilizes you, but when you, if I had a desk here, I could really kind of cave all the way in, and it just tightens everything. And
I'm getting shortness of breath just watching it. It looks like,
And so, but it really feels like it starts right in the pit of my stomach.
Yeah.
There's that tightness really starts there.
Yeah. As you did that on the chair, I'd like to somehow experience what you're doing. So I'm going to kneel in front of you for a moment. And I'd like you were doing something with the arms of this chair. I want to sort of feel that. You were like tightening up, and I wonder if I can put my arms there with your. So I want to feel what you were doing. Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Right. Wow, I can feel that part of you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. Oh, you got great hands. Terrific. Uh-huh. Now take that strength that's in your hands and in your arms. It's in here and it's here, and then you put it in your shoulders. Put it in your face too. You got a lovely face, but try to put this muscular cramp up there if you can. You want to try that? See what sort of face comes out. That's it. Maybe you can make some noises that would go with it too. That's right. I want to see if I can get you to stand up at the same time. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. She's looking great, isn't she? Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is who is this that's coming out, do you think? Let's go on with it some more.
Wow, that's really intense.
That's great.
Wonderful.
Great, yeah.
Maybe we should say to those people who are watching, in case you don't know what asthma is, it's recurrent attacks of breathlessness, a dry cough, a narrowing of the bronchial tubes, and a feeling of tightness in the chest. There's wheezing that goes with that, and this varies during the day or the week depending on the person and how they experience their asthma. Sometimes it can be hereditary, or sometimes it's due to allergies, and it's often or sometimes experienced as a serious danger to life in very severe cases. And you know, Arny, they say now that about 1 in 20 people actually suffer from asthma now, at least in the Western countries.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of asthma, a lot of breathing problems. Yeah. One of the reasons for that is people have a lot of breathing difficulties are like mild cases of asthma. Mm-hmm. Now, remember we said that we work with people depending upon how they experience their symptoms, their chronic symptoms. So she says, and she shows us with her arms. First I'll say the words, then I'll show you with my body. She says, I have tightness in the chest and the back, and it's hard to relax. So therefore, I go with the asthma process. Before I say more about that, I'll show you. She has her arms are relatively open like that, and she uses her arms like that, and she says, the asthma I experienced something like that. And at another point, she says, I have tension like this. So when people use their hands like this as a description, when you yourself, the viewer, experience something and use your hands describing yourself, the hand motions you use are very, very important. They describe what kind of sensations you're really having inside. What all that means remains to be seen, and the method that I use to find out more about the meaning of chronic symptoms and symptoms in general is to amplify them.
So I imagine people would think, well, why amplify something. Isn't that crazy? Don't you want to take it away or relieve it or somehow put it down? Why bring it out more?
Yeah, right. Well, I don't know if you call it crazy, but it is true. We're amplifying something that people are trying to get rid of. And you might ask yourself, as you just did, why amplify something? Well, one of the reasons for amplifying a symptom is to gain greater access to it, to understand it, to feel it within inside of yourself. By amplifying it, you have to find out, so to speak, how to create it. So if I have, like from the fish we ate last night, it wasn't exactly right. So I have still a little bit of feeling left over from that bad fish dinner. But besides that, you see, I want to repress those symptoms. I don't want to have anything to do with them. I just want the tummy ache to go away. And it is just about away. But if I want to find out more about the meaning of something, I have to intensify it, get into it, and then let it unfold and speak to me like a message on the telephone. Sometimes you need to turn the telephone up, or you need to turn your TV up to amplify, to hear things more clearly. And one of the ways of amplifying is having the people re-experience their symptoms. So Diane says, and she shows with her shoulders, I have feelings like this, she says, like this. So therefore I say, go ahead and show me these feelings again. And I say to her, Amy, remember, feel it here, feel the tensions here, feel it here. It's a way of amplifying, experiencing the tension in her face. And to experience, and you see all of this whole area of the body is connected with the chest. So therefore, that has to do with the amplification of physical symptoms. Now, so now what's going to happen, I want the viewers also to realize that what's going to happen now, she's giving me that experience, and I have to be in there experiencing the things that she does. It's not enough to sit on the outside and talk about experience, though that's very helpful, and we're going to do that with people who call in about 15 minutes at the end of the show. We're going to just talk to them, but it's good for me to experience that. Otherwise, I'm not certain about what it is that she's really experiencing. She's a very dynamic person, and things get very dramatic now. So let's see how that evolves. Let's look at the TV again and see what's going to happen next. Yeah, it's great to feel it. Yeah. Now let's see if we can unfold that in the sense of, well, that's great, but here is, maybe do that to me, what she's doing. Can you show that? That's my wife, all right. That's great. Yeah, that's wonderful. I know that.
I don't think I do it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's well known to me somehow. Yeah, I like that. Beautiful. Yeah. Amy's great. That's right. When you look at her, what do you see, though?
Rage.
Yeah.
In her eyes.
Yeah. Rage. So let's see maybe what that rage is. Want to go on with that a little more? Let's see something about that rage. Yeah. Yeah. Good for you. Yeah. Yeah, now have all the thoughts that are in there and follow the feelings and the thoughts and see if you can give them expression within the context of what we're doing as much as possible. Go right ahead.
I'll close down on you. I'm going to shut you down.
Yeah.
And shut you up.
I don't blame
And
you.
shut you up forever.
Yeah.
And destroy you.
Uh-huh.
And kill you.
Oh.
And all those like you
Huh.
will ruin you.
Uh-huh.
There won't be anything left.
Right. Who are all of those like me?
All of you complaining people of the world.
Yeah, all of us people who've been complaining a long
Yes.
time.
Yes, you all in the third world.
Uh-huh.
Complainers.
We're third world
Yes,
complainers.
you're third world complainers.
Right.
And you especially live here in America.
Uh-huh.
And you're due for nothing, good for nothing, worthless. And we want to destroy you.
Well, you're not going to.
But we can.
Well, I'm going to fight
We
back.
But we'll kill you. We'll kill all of you.
Oh, will you?
Yes.
You're a rather pleasant
We're
force.
powerful.
Yeah, how powerful do you think you are?
As powerful as necessary.
Well, you could kill my body, but you won't kill the ideas I represent.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You won't kill the ideas I represent. They're going to go on throughout history and
Yes.
spook you at night. They'll get you. You won't be able to get to bed at night.
That's right.
You'll be a nervous wreck.
That's right.
I've got power. I've got spirit powers.
We can kill your body. We won't kill your spirit.
That's right, but
But
you...
we're going to kill your body.
Well, that's something I better defend against
Yes.
then. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, she's terrific.
Yeah,
Isn't
she's
she
great.
something? Well, the first thing I think that I should mention is that about the dramatic nature of this, I wouldn't encourage anyone to just interact with anybody else like this, but she is really under her control, her own control, and she's smiling, and she's also, you can talk to while she's doing this work, and so she is herself in a really safe mood, and yet why not give her a pillow to experience this asthma? Don't forget, we're working on asthma, and one part of her is squashing. You see another part in her chest. This is the experience she has of her in her chest. So now she's beginning to show us that. She's showing it on me. Why not do that on a pillow? Well, very good. A pillow would be a really good thing for her to work with. Yet, since she's such a safe person to work with, it's really good to experience the whole of it. And as she looks at me also as a person, in the moment that she's looking at me, she can also project onto me. A human face is infinitely better than a pillow, especially under safe situations.
So what happens here? You have me show her what she's doing,
Right.
and I go like that, and then she looks at me and she sees that I have rage in my eyes.
Right.
And then you, Arny,
Right.
begin to go into all that
That's
rage
right.
with her.
That's right. Well, first of all, I ask you to do it, Amy, so she can look outside instead of just experiencing things in herself. She's able to see you doing what she did, so it gives her a way of understanding the feeling experiences she's having. The other thing I'd like to, quote Diane. She says at different points, I want to shut you down and shut you up forever. She says, I want to destroy everybody like you, all you third world people, she says. All you good-for-nothings, worthless, we want to destroy you, we will kill you, she says. And this is a huge message. It's behind the tightness. Don't forget, it's that tightness pushing down is her own, something like her own self-criticism, her own self-hatred, and it's also the hatred of society against third world people and all the minority groups who experience themselves as being minority, at least here in the United States. And so there are these two parts working against one another. One is the hatred of the governing cosmopolitan majority who have the power, and the other part of her in her asthma is the one collapsing, being pushed in, and this wrestling match is beginning. So how it's going to come out and how it's going to be negotiated remains to be seen. What do you think, Amy?
Yeah, I'm curious how that will be resolved, and it's also apparent that her inner problem is not only an inner problem. It's not only what she's working on internally,
That's
but
right.
it's also she's working on a world problem or a world issue.
That's absolutely right. You can't just psychologize about things.
Right.
Absolutely.
Symptoms are related somehow to the outer world or sociological
Far out. That's
issues.
right. Absolutely. So let's look at the TV and see how this unfolds some more. Okay?
Great.
Actually, what I want to do is see what will happen to you if we switch roles on this one.
Okay.
What? Should we try it? I now know who that figure is. That's very helpful. Now I'm going to see if, I'm going to switch roles. You okay with this so far?
Yeah.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Great. I'm really glad that you're able to use that force so clearly. Make yourself comfortable. Your TV thing there and...
Yeah.
Huh?
It's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Is that okay? Amy, maybe you want to play that on top of her. I think that may finally have a better effect. Yeah.
I'm going to get you, destroy you, all of you, and everybody like you.
Yeah, you third world
You
creatures.
third world people, you're disgusting. I'm just going to wipe you all out. Even the worst for you, all you in the United States.
And how are you going to do that?
Oh, I'm just going to wipe you out, your body.
Crusher.
I'm going to crush you,
Yeah.
destroy you,
Millions,
all of you.
Millions more come from where I am.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We got billions.
No, you don't. You're fast dying out.
Yeah, but we're stronger.
We're the white upper class
you're fast
crust
dying out.
that crushes everybody.
You're going to kill all of us.
We've crushed.
You're going to
We've
kill all
crushed
of
you
us.
before, and we're going to kill all of
But
you.
you can only kill us in this lifetime. Your turn's coming.
Well, at least we can wipe them out this lifetime.
Yeah, at least now it'll give us the pleasure of wiping all of you
But
out.
what about your children? What about your grandchildren?
My children will come after you guys too.
Yeah, I know, but there'll be so many more of us.
We don't think about that.
And
Who cares?
we've been mistreated.
Just be
We've got our
quiet, let me
TV
kill
now.
you
That's
now.
enough.
We're not going to be quiet, though.
Right.
Be quiet and shut up and let me
We're
just
not
destroy you.
going to be quiet.
What are you going to do if you're not going to be quiet?
We're going to talk you to death.
Go ahead.
We're going to talk you
I'm
to
on
death.
your side now, Diane. Go for it.
You're going to die. You're going to kill yourself.
No, I'm on your
Nah,
side.
you're
Now
gonna
let's
kill
crush her.
yourself. Me, yeah, let's
two
get it.
against
You're
one.
gonna
That's much
kill
better. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's your normal.
I feel
At
you're-
least your normal
I
odds.
feel you're resisting so well.
Yes.
Go ahead and use your entire resistance against us.
Yeah, I feel it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, go ahead.
You
Yeah.
can't do anything to me.
Yes, I
You can't
can.
do anything to me because I represent a lot of people. I represent.
But as long as we got you
years
down,
and
that's
years and
great.
years
we
and
got you.
generations.
Yeah, just make sure you lie down.
But what about your children?
We don't care about our children. We got our TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, just turn the
We
TV
have all the
on.
comforts we need. I'm not
Yeah.
worried about my children.
Yeah, don't worry about the ecological waste. That's tomorrow.
Well,
We got you now, baby.
and that's what happens, and that's what the problem is. You don't care. You don't even care about yourselves.
All right, we care only about pushing you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
Right.
care. We don't care about anything.
But you won't get anywhere with getting me down. It doesn't get
We're
you anywhere.
trying.
I feel you're using resistance in your arms, which is super. Can you use that resistance? You're using it in your words. Use it in the rest of your body, too. Use it to
All that
stand up
strength.
and push against us. Go right ahead.
Okay, you
Yeah.
can't keep me down. I'll turn your... Now. Get you down. Hey! Get you down.
Wait a minute.
Hey, you can't get
You
me
can't
down.
do that.
I can, I did.
You got to
And I
lie down
always
when
will.
we sit on top of
I'll
you.
always do this. It'll always happen.
You're not allowed to rise on top like that.
But I am on top.
Third
This is
world.
your place.
No, I'm on top.
Ugh. She sure is
Glad
on
she
top.
did that.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of important things that happen here.
Uh-huh.
You remember that we are now gestalting or playing out the different parts that she's experiencing internally. She has these two different parts in her symptoms. And one of them is experienced as the one putting her down, or the white middle class, or the majority somehow. And the other side is what she's calling the third world, or a power that's emerging and is now standing up for itself.
Right. I think it's important that people realize that what we're calling the majority and minority is purely a feeling business. That somebody can experience themselves as being part of a minority group, but really be the potential power of the future. And so when we talk about majority and minority, what we really mean is those who act like they have the power and those who in the moment act like they don't have too much power. So I want to go on and say some details now about her work. She's lying down, you remember, and she's talking to us, and she's using her arms, but she's not quite using her entire strength. Remember how she's sort of pushing up from underneath? That's really important. She's a powerful woman. She needs to do that, but she needs to do it even more. And she does, and when she does, she begins to say, what about your children? We are the underdogs at present. We won't be quiet. We're going to speak out. She says, I represent a lot of people. You don't care. You don't care even about yourselves. Now I'm on top. In other words, she is experiencing, you see, the force of the oppressor as now a challenge to which she's coming back against. That her asthma is like something pushing down upon her, and it acts like the force of oppression and of the sociological mess that we're all living in, pushing down on her and upon all of us. She's now experiencing as the necessity for working against that challenge inside. So the oppressor and challenger is helping in some weird sense for her to come out and be her total self and to get on top. And now there's going to be one more section, and after this section, all of you out there can call in and talk about your own body symptoms with us, or you can talk about also the work with Diane, 667-7434, 667-7434. And so let's look now at television at the last section and see what happens then. Yeah, okay.
I'm on top, but there's room for all of us up here.
What is she talking about? We thought there's only room for us.
That's right.
Yeah, everybody's got to be white in this world. I mean,
That's
what are you
right.
talking about?
But you've got to think about your own future, your children, your grandchildren. What kind of planet is this?
What are we supposed to
for
think?
them? You are supposed to think. You're supposed to care. You've got to care about me.
How do you get up and get so strong? You're supposed to be depressed and down. You're supposed to be miserable and pleasant.
There's a lot of strength in misery.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but you're not supposed to be showing it like that. We're not used to it.
Supposed to succumb to our greater power.
But it's time. It's time.
You're smiling.
Because it's time.
Yeah, say that.
Yeah, it's time for strength to show, and it's time for sharing of power.
Yeah.
And here we all are on top.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's not so bad.
Yeah, when you smile like this, you say it's time to show and it's time to... There's something glowing coming out of you.
It's time. It's time for us to share and to get together and to care about each other.
No, I think you have to go down again.
No, but I won't.
But you must.
But I just refuse.
You can't speak out so like that in public. It'll upset everybody.
No, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of more things to upset people. Not what I say. I think people want to hear what I have to say.
And what do you have to say?
I want to say that I care about you.
You care about us?
I truly care about you, because in order for me to be fully human, I have to accept everybody, including you. And I do it joyfully.
Actually, my strongest impression right now would be to go like this. I hear you. Yeah. But you stand up and say that. You say it's with all that power that you have. You did say that the asthma is relieved when you show your power. Yeah.
Yes, it used to be I needed to show anger, and I'm moving beyond that.
I noticed that. It's power in all sorts of forms.
Power in that you can love me or us.
It's power to care. It's power to love, and it's the power to say it, and to believe it, and to share it. And that's what we all want. That's what you want too.
I'm on your side, woman.
Me too.
I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I'm going to be on your side. I'll come on your side right over here. Yeah. I'm on your side.
Wow.
My God. Well, that work should speak almost for itself, but let's repeat some of her last statements. She says, I'm on top, but there's room for us all up here, she says. And what kind of planet is this for all of us anyhow? And she says there's a lot of strength in misery, she said. It's time for strength to show and for the sharing of power. And she says, I truly care about you. And she says, I have the power to care and to love. So that's really amazing and important.
I'll say. Maybe we could go back and review how that process evolved.
Yeah.
She began with the experience of asthma as this tightening, and then she saw that as rage, and it came out as the rage of the so-called majority against the minority. And as she went into that battle between the two parts, then she was able to really stand up and stand really for what she believes in. It's very beautiful.
Yeah. She is a really incredible speaker also. As she uses that asthma in her public speaking, she comes out more dynamically. She can speak from the heart about the power and the love that's really inside of her. And for me, what's so important is that as she goes against the opposition, I go again in her lungs, she's feeling like this, and she has this thing pushing down. And as she pushes against it, she's doing more than meeting force with force. She's going beyond the force that's on top of her. Force with force is good. Anger is good. It can be very useful. It can be very important, especially somatically in working on symptoms. But she's going into greater power and greater force than even force. She has love and the appreciation of people, and she's interested in hoping for all people. And this way, she really overcomes us. She makes us look like idiots, actually. She becomes so powerful. And for me, that's really, really crucial. She's becoming actually what we would call a highly evolved person. Some of you might even think behind this woman is something like a spiritual leader. Maybe it's the right kind of political leader.
Right.
In any case, it's love and power are more important than just brute force and aggression. And that's where she's growing just now.
So remember, if you would like to call in with your questions either about this work or to ask about your own body symptoms, then please do that. We'd love to talk to you.
Right. And the telephone number to call in for, if you're interested in talking about this particular work or your own body symptoms, is 667-7434. And so when you do that, we'll talk to you about your own symptoms. You can have questions about them, or we can talk about Diane's work. And one of the important things about her work is that you could say that the body itself is a crucial battleground. It's like the battleground for sociological difficulties. The different, in German they say Zeitgeist. It means the different spirits of the times are using our body using our bodies to like fight their own problems out with. And
so that what's happening inside, it's both inside and an internal problem to work on internally and an outer phenomenon.
That's right.
It's just what she is talking about is just a reality that everybody is working on in some way.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. So what is it like for the television viewers, I wonder, also? What sort of symptoms do they have? Have they also had breathing problems? Or those of you looking in on us just now, have you had body problems of one sort or another? Because then if you give us a ring here at that number which we mentioned, should I mention it again? Is that kosher to do something like that? 667-7434, then we can talk to you about the different experiences that you're having. I mean, it's really wild to have a body problem with asthma. The great question is, how will she be able to do that now in public? She'll go like this, and she'll be able to speak out more with a force that's really behind her. So, do we have somebody on the phone there? Yes. Okay, let's put them on and talk to them. Hello? It's coming.
We wait a few seconds.
Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello?
Yes, I had a question to ask.
Good.
And I was wondering, will this work help with her asthma in the future? Or how do you think it will affect her experience of asthma?
Good for you. What's your first name?
Cindy.
Cindy, hi. Good for you. How will this change her experience of asthma? Well, it depends upon how she grows and how much she actually integrates this capacity to be so forceful and so loving in the right moments. As soon as every time you have a breathing problem or a back problem, whatever, that's the moment to think about. The asthma is like reminding you of great powers that you have inside of you. And the more she's able to actually connect to those powers, the more she'll have the power and not the asthma. Some people's asthma clears up. Some asthma stays there for a long time, reminding people of their power, and at a later time gets better. But people are very different. I can't quite predict exactly how she herself will work with that. Could you follow that?
Yes, I was wondering if you could recommend a next step for someone like that.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. The next step is to, again, with her friends, every time she feels a little asthmatic and pressure on her chest, in that moment, maybe I can show you a little bit. Let's say I was having asthma, Amy, and I was talking to you, and suddenly I get a little asthmatic. This would be the next step for her in asthma. She would be feeling it a little like that, and she would remember, oh, I have this force to come out. And she should be as forceful as possible. This would be her next step to say, here I am, and this is what I believe in. I believe in this and this and this at this moment, and I'm not going to hide my power or my belief in what it is that I'm thinking.
Just bring it out as she's feeling it.
Right, right. That would be the next step in her asthma work.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you follow that?
Yes, yes.
How come you ask about that? Have you yourself had asthma?
No, not asthma.
What sort of body problems have you been working with?
A stiff neck.
A stiff neck. Would you like to talk about that for a minute?
Yes, I would, actually.
Well, great. What's your stiff neck like?
It's like a soreness, and also when I move my neck, I hear a popping sound.
Oh, yeah. I have that, too.
Yeah.
Right. You move it like back and forth like this, and it sort of cracks.
It's particularly very sore in the moment, and usually sore, more so than I've experienced before.
Good.
And
That's a good description. Well, now there's so many different kinds of sore necks. What kind of sore neck what is it like to have a stiff neck and a sore neck? Can you describe it in such a way that I could really experience it almost in my own neck?
Almost like something limiting the turn of my head, the movement in my neck from side to side or up and down.
Something limiting it. Is it like a hand back there, or is it like two leather belts holding your neck back, or what is it like?
I would think.
If you make it a little bit stiffer.
It's almost like a hand, because it's like like a hand, I would say.
Great. Okay, now Amy, where's that teddy bear of yours?
Right
here. We got a teddy bear. Can you see our teddy bear?
Yes, I can.
This is a teddy bear. Now, let's say this teddy bear has a stiff neck and he moves his head back and forth like this. And Amy, would you put your hand on the back of it like that? Now, as Amy does that, why on earth would somebody be behind you or behind this teddy bear trying to keep its neck straight?
Yeah, why would they?
Why would I want to do that?
To keep them from looking in a different direction.
That's right, to keep looking forwards. That's right, to concentrate on one thing, to be very intense on one thing. I bet you have part of your nature which is very intense upon one particular thing.
It's true.
Aren't you an intense character somehow?
I actually can be.
You can be.
Yeah.
And that intensity is actually very important for you. You should keep your head in one direction and really become very intense, and afterwards it's possible that your neck would relax.
Well, that's interesting.
Be very, very intense, one-pointed. Don't look to the right or the left. Don't be so flexible.
So the symptom actually supports what I need to do.
That's right. Support what you need to do. Don't be so flexible and let things push you around. Focus on that and really go straight forward like a horse with blinders on.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's it.
You like that?
I do.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nice talking to you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Well, let's show that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to be a person like her. Other people, while we're waiting for other people to call in, or maybe we go deeper with this particular problem. I know we have only so much space here on the TV to show this. So let's say that I'm a person. Can you stand up? Maybe you can stand behind me, Ames. You stand up on that thing behind me? There. And go ahead and put your hand on my neck. See, let's say I'm the kind of person that is like this. This is the kind of thing that sometimes produces stiff neck. I'm a very open, flexible person, but then something comes behind me and says,
Don't look sideways. Keep your head forward.
yeah, but I want to relax. I want to do this. I want to do that.
No. One-pointed.
I have to be one-pointed?
Yes.
You mean if I become one-pointed, keep my head up and go straight forwards at something, that you won't have to do that in my neck? I won't have to have a stiff neck?
Right. If you pick up my message.
Yes, I do.
don't want you to be so flexible.
Right. Right. That's the psychology of the stiff neck. Yeah. Thanks.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what I noticed when you're talking to her, you're asking for such detailed description of her symptoms. She experiences it. I mean, I guess not everybody would feel that their stiff neck was hands holding them, or maybe everybody would have a different description.
Yes. But most descriptions around the stiff neck phenomena are just exactly that. That something is holding them in place. Something very powerful. And everybody wants to relax more, and many psychologists will say, well, it's your negative father or your negative mother or something like that. But here in this particular situation, it's her own power wanting to go straight forward. Well, somebody else is on the phone, so let's get it now and see what's going to come up next. You never know. Hello?
Hello. This is Kathy.
Hello, Kathy.
Hi.
And I'm calling because my symptom that I've had lately is a stiff back.
Stiff back. Right.
My lower back, and it just seems to feel tight and sore. It starts out low, and it usually ends up towards the end of the day.
Since we'll never meet, I wonder, can I ask you some personal, we may meet, you never know, but I'd like to ask you something personal since nobody's seeing you. Can I ask you a little something personal?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Thank you. Have you ever thought about not wanting to live or something like that occasionally? Has that ever been a problem for you?
Well, I haven't been suicidal. If
No.
that's what you mean. No.
But you ever been thinking, well, life isn't maybe the thing for you?
Well, I've thought before that it might be, I believe in life after death, and I thought before that it might be nicer in the afterlife.
Right. Well, a lot of us are thinking those kinds of things. Good for you. But it's interesting that lower back pain and this particular feeling frequently go together. But let me ask you some more specific details about your back pain, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. What is it like down there, Kathy, again? Can I ask you, what is the experience of your back? You said sore and stiff?
Well, it gets tight.
It gets tight.
Stiff, tight, and then it starts to feel sore. And it'll be, I can notice it like being stiff to bend over and pick up something. It kind of reminds me that, oh yeah, my back is tight and stiff, and it's low back.
Low back, you can't bend over too well.
Right. I mean, I can, but I notice that.
You're like
right
me,
away.
I can hardly do that too. Yeah, you can't bend over like that so well.
Right.
I see. Now, are you sitting in a chair just now?
Yes, I am.
If you were to make your back just a little tiny bit stiffer, would you be sitting like this, or how would you sit?
I think I would be sitting straighter with my legs tight.
Your legs tight together.
Plus, the work that I do, I'm on my feet a lot.
I see. How difficult, yeah. You say if you sat really straight, if you were really stiff, you'd sit up straight and your legs would be tight?
I think I'd be holding a lot of stiffness, a lot of tightness in.
Yeah. Okay, would you do it too, Amy? Imagine what sort of thing. Would you be sitting something like Amy?
Yes, something like that, yes.
Okay, so
and
now...
maybe with my legs, maybe not quite, my feet spread out a little more.
Like that?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
And sitting up and kind of just holding the stiffness in my back.
I really tense there.
Wonderful. Okay, it's really something doing some sort of body work over the television phone like this. But listen, while you're sitting there, Kathy, just like that, get a sense of who you are sitting like that. Who is it that normally sits like that? What kind of person? Go ahead and feel your body like Amy is doing and like I'm doing. You feel your body too, and stiffen up even your face a little bit, and tell me what sort of a person would be sitting like that?
Somebody really uptight, somebody holding something back.
Yeah, somebody who's tight, holding something back. And what sort of a person is that? Is that a stern person? Would it be a military person?
Yes.
Yes.
Military, perhaps. Militaristic type.
Militaristic type. Right. Now, I bet you're not very militaristic.
No, I'm not.
You're not? Yeah, how come?
Well, I just got out of the military because I thought it was definitely not for me. How about that?
Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
You just got out of the military because it's not for you.
Exactly.
Oh, good for you.
That's amazing.
That is very interesting. So you got out of the military because it's not for you.
Right.
But still, could this militaristic kind of discipline be useful for you in some way?
Yes, it could be.
It could be in your ordinary everyday life. So how could you use this discipline?
Well, for physical fitness.
Yeah.
And for my spiritual fitness.
Spiritual fitness, physical fitness.
Uh-huh.
Also, could you sometimes be in relationship a little bit more, a little tougher, perhaps?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
It's awfully difficult in relationships sometimes to be tough, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, it is for me.
Right.
A fear of rejection.
A fear of rejection. So anyway, that's where your stiff back is going. A little bit more. Now you've got to integrate your military career in your ordinary everyday life.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very
Nice
much.
talking to you, Kathy.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Oh, isn't that something?
Yeah, we've got only a few more minutes before somebody else calls in. I'd like to show people how that actually looks.
Uh-huh.
Now, in relationship.
Okay.
Amy, you're more of a woman than I am. So could you first be really loving and easygoing and then be more militaristic in relationship?
I'll try. It's not my best thing either.
It's not mine either.
I try.
Let's try it.
Okay.
So, darling, how are you today?
Oh, I'm very good.
You look
How are
great. Well, I'm lousy.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
I ate
that.
bad fish last night.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Do you feel better?
I feel a little better, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, so that's the sweet part of you. Okay, if you were more militaristic, what would you do with me? I feel lousy. I had...
What's wrong with you? Say it straight.
I had bad fish last night?
Yeah, is something else bothering you, though?
Yes.
Come on, I want to know.
I had to do this television program tonight. Thank you for being so straight with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's an absolute relief. I just love it.
Mm.
Yeah.
So in being straight, I could actually bring you out more.
Yes. Being more militaristic, being straight. So, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, one more call, and then we'll do I hope we have time to do an inner work exercise with everybody just before the hour is up. So, okay. Who's on the phone? Hello?
Hello, this is Catherine.
Catherine?
Yes.
Another Catherine. How nice.
Oh, I'm good. Anyway, I'm calling about a pain I've been having in my upper arm or my shoulder.
Yes.
It's in my right arm, and I'm right-handed, and it makes me feel really weak.
It's not in the elbow.
It's not in the elbow. No,
It's in the arm.
More closer to the shoulder, but in the arm.
To the shoulder. Is it in here in your bursa? You know what
Well,
the bursa...
I can't see the TV, but it's in my deltoid muscle.
In your what more muscle?
My deltoid.
Deltoid.
The shoulder muscle, only it's down into my arm, and so I don't have any strength in that arm.
Yeah. Oh, you have no strength in that arm.
Yeah.
Oh, how dreadful.
I know.
How long has that been going on?
It's been going on off and on for several months now, but maybe 4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months? What happened 4 or 5 months ago, may I ask?
I was doing yoga, and I was thinking I should be more flexible and push myself farther than my body really wanted to go.
You were pushing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to go a little further.
Yeah, good for you. But pushing yourself is no longer the best thing for you. Sometimes it's important to also just be relaxed and weak. You needn't push yourself quite so much. Are you someone who pushes herself sometimes?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Quite a bit. I don't blame you. I sometimes do that, but you have the opposite problem of the people with a stiff back. This where there's no strength. That means that there's a part of you which just refuses any longer to be pushed. It wants to just be. It's like going into the psychology of just being and just being quiet and not pushing yourself so much all the time.
Just letting things be?
Just letting things be. Yeah.
That's kind of hard because it sounds a little lazy.
I know. It is a little lazy, and that's going to be difficult for you, but you should practice just a little tiny bit of laziness every now and then.
It sounds good.
Yes, it does sound good, and you'll enjoy it if you practice it.
Okay.
Great.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, okay. Now, before we go further with calls, I think just to end this thing, isn't that exciting?
That's
actually?
great.
I'd like to try, we've never done this before, an inner work exercise with all of you viewers watching. And we have 3.5 minutes, so we have to do it fast. And I'm going to, the first thing, that it's an inner work exercise. See if this is right for you to do. The first thing is, what are you experiencing with yourself inside? What symptom would you like to work on? Choose a symptom. I'll choose my fish that I ate last night, my stomach. What would you choose, Ames?
A little pain in my chest.
Choose the symptom and shake that area. Amy, go ahead and shake. Shake it a little bit. She's really nice when she shakes. If I shake my stomach, I go like this. A little bit like that. Shake that area. Go ahead. You're by yourself at home alone, so shake it like that. Or if you got a headache, shake it. If your shoulder, shake it up a little bit. That gives you a chance to feel it. Now, what does it feel like in there? What's the symptom feel like inside of yourself? Feel the symptom. We're going to have to do this rapidly. Feel the symptom now as you're shaking and give it a word. Which word comes to you?
Cramp.
Cramp. Which one? Like that?
Like that.
So the word that comes to me is fire, which I'm feeling right now. How do you need the word that comes to you more in your everyday life? The word that describes the feeling of that symptom when you move it. What's the symptom feel like? Put a word on it, and please ask yourself, how do you need that more in your everyday life? How could you use it just a little bit more in your everyday life? How does that symptom feel? Yeah.
I need that.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, Amy, I'm really relaxed and feeling good that the thing is over now. So it was really great talking to you characters, and I can't wait to do it again next week. See, if anybody need more information about this particular work you might want to read, if you don't get headaches reading, read one of my books called Working with a Dreaming Body.
Arny's books are available in many different bookstores around Portland. It's Dr. Arny Mindell.
Yeah.
So thanks for being with us, and join us next week when we continue to work more on body symptoms.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.